Welcome to Social Science online classes. In the last session, we discussed about the Great Himalayan Mountains and the Northern Plains. In this session, we shall discuss about the Peninsular Plateau, the deserts and the coastal plains of India. So first let me start with the Peninsular Plateau. Okay. Peninsular Plateau is the largest physical division of India. What it is? Peninsular Plateau is the largest physical division of India. Okay. It is the oldest landmass. Peninsular Plateau was the oldest landmass and it was a part of Gondwana land. It was a part of Gondwana land. Okay. Then what is this Gondwana land? Gondwana land was an ancient continent. Gondwana land was an ancient continent. It broke up about 180 million years ago. Okay. This Gondwana land, this continent broke up into different land masses about 180 million years ago, and it is split into many land masses, and this splitted land masses today we recognize them as Africa, South America, Australia, Antarctica and Indian subcontinent. Okay, that is what about Gondwana land. Now coming back to Peninsular Plateau. Peninsular Plateau is a triangular shaped tableland. See, what is the shape of this? It is the shape of a triangular. Okay, it is a triangular shaped tableland. It covers an area of, what is the area of peninsular? What is the area of Peninsular Plateau? The area of Peninsular Plateau is 16 lakh square kilometers. Okay. The area of Peninsular Plateau is 16 lakh square kilometer. Okay. It is spread over the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Bihar, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Okay. Now, River Narmada divides the Peninsular Plateau into two parts. Which river divides the Peninsular Plateau into two parts? The River Narmada. See here, this is River Narmada. River Narmada divides the Peninsular Plateau into two parts. One is the Central Highland and the next one is the Deccan Plateau. Okay, the next one is Deccan Plateau. River Narmada, okay, divides the Peninsular Plateau into two parts. One is Central Highland. The northern part is called as Central Highland and the southern part is called as the Deccan Plateau. Okay, first one is Central Highland. Central Highland and the second one is Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau. Okay. River Narmada divides the Peninsular Plateau into two parts, that is Central Highland and the Deccan Plateau. First we shall study about the Central Highland. Central Highland, it extends from River Narmada and the northern plains. See, from River Narmada to the northern plains. It extends from the River Narmada to the northern plains. Okay, here in this Aravali range is the oldest fold mountains. Look at the map here. Aravali range is the oldest fold mountain. What is fold mountain then? The mountains which have a curved shape on the edge, curved shaped edges. They are called as old fold mountains. Okay. So Aravali Aravali range is the oldest fold mountain and it extends from Gujarat, passes through Rajasthan till Delhi. Okay, so Aravali range is the oldest fold mountain which extends from Gujarat through Rajasthan to Delhi. Okay, in this Aravali range, mountain Guru Shikara is the highest peak in the central line. Which is the highest peak in the central line? Mountain Guru Shikara is the highest peak in the central line. Okay. Then next, the Malwa Plateau and the Chota Nagpur Plateau are the parts of central highland. Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau are also the part of central highland. Important rivers which flow through the central highland are Betwa, Chambal, Ken are some of the important rivers, and Mahadev and Kaimur and Michael are the important hills in Chota Nagpur. They are the important hills in Chota Nagpur Plateau. And the valley of Narmada lies between. See here, where is Narmada? The valley of Narmada. This is Narmada. Okay, the valley of Narmada lies between Vindhya range and Satpura range. Okay, this is Satpura here. Okay, the valley of Narmada lies between Vindhya range and the Satpura range. Okay, then the Narmada river, the Narmada river flows east to west. From where it flows? The Narmada flows from east to west. The Narmada river flows from east to west, and finally what happens? It drains in Arabian Sea. Finally reaches the Arabian Sea. River Narmada and Tapi river. That's a Tapi river. Okay. Nirmada and Tapi are west flowing rivers, and finally where do they join? They join in the Arabian Sea, or they drain in the Arabian Sea. Okay, now let's have a look over the Deccan Plateau. Okay, Deccan Plateau is separated by a fault from Chota Nagpur Plateau. Then what do you mean by fault here? Fault. What is the meaning of fault in geography? The meaning of fault in geography is that is a crack in Earth's crust. What is fault? It is a crack in Earth's crust. So Deccan Plateau is separated by a fault from Chota Nagpur Plateau. Okay. The Deccan Plateau is divided into the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. What it is? The Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is divided into Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. First, now let us discuss about the Western Ghats. Okay. Western Ghats they are also called as Sahyadris. What they are called? They are also called as Sahyadris. Western Ghats are also called as Sahyadris, and they run parallel to west coast. See, this is the Western Ghats. This is the coastal region. Okay, this both sides are the coastal region, coastal region. Okay, coastal region. This is Western Ghats, and this is the Eastern Ghats. Okay, so where are the Western Ghats now? Western Ghats run parallel to the western coastal region. Okay, so the Western Ghats run parallel to the west coast from Tapi river. Here is a Tapi river. From Tapi river to Kanyakumari. Okay, sorry, from Tapi river to Kanyakumari. And they are very steep. Western Ghats, they are very steep on the west side and gentle on the eastern side. It means they are very deep in the western side, in the western region, and they are gentle slope in the eastern region. Okay, Western Ghats are continuous. We don't find any break in the Ghats here. Okay, we don't find any break in the Western Ghats here. They are continuous. Western Ghats are continuous. And we can find some important passes in Western Ghats also. They are some of the important passes in Western Ghats are Talghat, Palghat, and Bargaon. Some other passes also we can find in the Western Ghats. Okay. Now the important hills which we find in the Western Ghats are Annamalai Hill, Palani Hills, and Cardamom Hills. It is also called as Ilaimalai Hills. Cardamom Hills also is called as Ilaimalai Hills. And in the Western Ghats, Annamudi is in the Annamalai Hills is the highest peak. Which is the highest peak here? Annamudi is the highest peak in the Western Ghats. And the rivers which flow in the Western Ghats are Godavari, Bhima, Krishna. They flow towards eastwards and join. Finally, where they drain? They drain into Bay of Bengal. Whereas River Tapi flows westwards and finally they drain into Arabian Sea. Okay. Now we shall study about the Eastern Ghats. See, these are the Eastern Ghats. Okay. Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats run parallel to the east coast of India. Okay, this is Eastern coastal region. Okay, this is Eastern coastal region. So the Eastern Ghats run parallel to the east coast of India. Okay, they extend from Mahanadi. Okay, they extend from Mahanadi Valley and Mahanadi Valley in the north till the Nilgiris in the south. Okay, they extend from Mahanadi. These Eastern Ghats extend from, they start from Mahanadi, and where they end in the Nilgiris. Here they join in the Nilgiris. The Eastern Ghats join the Western Ghats also. So the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats, they join in Nilgiris. Okay, they join in Nilgiris. These Eastern Ghats, they are lower than the Western Ghats and they are not continuous. They are break. There is a gap between the Eastern Ghats. So they are not continuous like the Western Ghats. They are lower than the Western Ghats also. The highest peak in Eastern Ghats are Armakonda, which is the highest peak here. The highest peak is Armakonda. Other famous hills in Eastern Ghats are Mahendragiri Hills and Naimagiri Hills in Orissa, and some other hills also we can find in the Eastern Ghats. And rivers which flow in the Eastern Ghats are Mahanadi, in the northern part Mahanadi, and Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri river also flows. Okay, the Nilgiri hill joins at the eastern the Eastern Ghats join in the Nilgiri Hills, joins and meet the Western Ghats. Okay. Now let's discuss about the importance of peninsular plateau. For what purpose the peninsular plateau is important? So, peninsular plateau, it is a storehouse of minerals. Storehouse of minerals. It is a storehouse of, Western Ghats are the storehouse of minerals like iron, bauxite, gold, copper, coal and manganese and mica also. Okay. Its black soil is very productive or it is very fertile. The black soil which is found in a peninsular plateau is very fertile and helps for the cultivation of cotton. Okay, the Ghats are immeasurable source of wood. Both the Ghats are the sources of wood, timber and etc. The Western Ghats are the birthplace of many rivers. It is the birthplace of many rivers of South India, and it is the home for variety of wild animals. We find variety of wild animals and birds in Western Ghats. The rivers in this region are useful for generation of hydroelectricity. How? Because the rivers which flow from the Western Ghats, they have formed the waterfalls. So further what they have done, they have helped in the generation of hydroelectricity. Okay. Apart from that, it provides a scenic beauty for the tourist. And next is it is also known for hill stations like we can find a very beautiful hill stations in Western Ghats. They are like Ooty, Mahabaleshwar, Panchgani and the hill stations like Ooty, Mahabaleshwar and Panchgani and some other small hill stations also we can find in the Western Ghats. Okay, this is what about the peninsular plateau. Now let's discuss about the Indian deserts. So Indian deserts, they lie towards the western. Where do the Indian deserts lie? They lie towards the western margin of Aravali Hills. Where they are in the western margin of Aravali Hills, and it is called as this desert area of the desert of India is called as the Thar Desert, and it is the 9th largest desert in the world. The desert of India, that is Thar Desert, is the 9th largest desert in the world. And this desert area has spread over the states of Gujarat and Rajasthan. And the desert areas, this is less than 150 mm of rainfall per year. How much do they receive? They receive less than 150 mm of rainfall per year. Okay, the vegetation in the desert area is very low. We can find only the thorny bushes in the desert area. Okay, and the river which flow in this desert is Luni, is the main river in this area. Okay. Dear students, in this session we learned about the peninsular plateau and the desert. In the next session we shall discuss about the other physical features of India, that is the coastal plains and the islands of India we shall discuss. Till then you read the chapter thoroughly and start writing the notes. Have a good day.